The pastor's secret. In a small town in western Nigeria, there was a church named Heavenly Gates Ministry. People trooping almost every service day in their thousands to worship. Miracles, signs, and wonders was common to all their services. They have a large auditorium that can seat many worshippers at once. Pastor Olujimi was the founder of the church. He could be seen every service day on his usual seat. The church was blessed, and the blessing reflected on the pastor. He drives a fleet of cars, wears fashionable clothing, and practically lived large. The church holds lots of programs that ushers in newcomers, from youth programs, single to mingle, couples fellowship, and programs for expectant mothers. Every week, people flood into the church for different programs. As they come, they donate heavy sums of money as special offerings and church projects. Some gives huge amount to the pastor in appreciation of miracles received. The most surprising thing is that Pastor Olujimi always takes time to give warm handshake to all newcomers in each program, no matter how many they are. "You are welcome, my brother. You are welcome, my sister," was his popular slogan. All newcomers are identified at the beginning and at the end of all programs, and they are given a handshake by Pastor Olujimi. This action endeared him to the heart of the congregation, who saw his action as a mark of humility. How many pastors of his caliber does that, welcoming everyone personally, both young and old, rich or poor? They often discuss among themselves. Sometimes he spent hours checking newcomers, especially whenever they held special programs. Even when he is obviously tired, he continues shaking hands till he gets to the last person. "You are welcome, my brother. You are welcome, my sister." He chants till he shakes all newcomers. One Sunday, a newcomer, Madam Kemi, a middle-aged widow, visited the church. She was known for her discerning spirit. She was not easily swayed by fancy preaching or the promises of prosperity. So she visited Pastor Olujimi's church out of curiosity, having heard of the miraculous changes and the sudden growth. She noticed something strange right from the start. Pastor Olujimi insisted on shaking her hand as soon as she entered the church. She accepted, but the feeling was odd, as if a spark of energy passed through her. She felt strange right from the start. She continued to attend the services, observing carefully. It struck her that every time someone new joined, the pastor would go out of his way to offer them a handshake. He would rush down from the pulpit, interrupting whatever he was doing just to greet the newcomer. The pattern was undeniable, and suspicion grew in her heart. Her curiosity soon turned to concern. One Wednesday evening, after the midweek service, Madam Kemi stayed behind, watching from the shadows as Pastor Olujimi performed a secretive ritual, rubbing a strange ointment on his hands before a mirror in his office. Her eyes widened in shock as she saw him muttering words that were anything but holy. Unable to keep silent, she approached the pastor the following Sunday during a testimony session. "Pastor Olujimi," she said loudly, interrupting his sermon. The congregation turned to her in surprise, and the pastor froze, a nervous smile on his face. "I have a question that has been troubling me," she said. He tried to deflect, but she persisted. "Why do you insist on shaking the hands of every new member? Is it some sort of special blessing?" Her voice was clear, and her tone was sharp. Whispers rippled through the congregation. Olujimi's face turned pale. He stammered a response. It is just a way to welcome everyone warmly." But Madam Kemi was not convinced. She stepped closer and grabbed his hand, rubbing it vigorously. A strange dark paste smeared between their palms, and a gasp spread through the church. The truth was out. Some members began to murmur. Others rose to leave. But Madam Kemi's voice carried them all. "This is not of God," she declared. holding up her hand. There is something sinister going on in this church. Some members suddenly rose up, moving angrily towards Pastor Olujimi and demanding for answers, some hoping that the drama playing before them was a bad dream they would wake up from. Pastor Olujimi was known for his ambition. He was a man who believed in his vision, a vision of a mighty church with thousands of followers, standing tall among the others in the town. He founded the Heavenly Gates ministry with high hopes, expecting to draw in multitudes with his fiery preaching and powerful prayers. But as the month turned to years, the pews remained half empty, attendance dwindled, and the coffers were light. Frustration began to creep in as his dreams of a successful ministry seemed to slip through his fingers. One night, in a moment of despair, Pastor Olujimi was approached by his childhood friend, Sonia. Sonia, who had the reputation for having answers to difficult questions, listened to Olujimi's words and offered a suggestion. Why don't you seek the help from Baba, the renowned herbalist in the next village? Many have gone to him and have seen their businesses flourish. Olujimi was persistent. He was a man of God after all. But the desperation for a bigger congregation and more wealth pushed him to visit the herbalist in secret. The small mud hut of Baba Dele was lined with animal skins, herbs, and the dim glow of an oil lamp. The old man welcomed Olujimi, his eyes gleaming with a mixture of wisdom and something darker. I know why you are here, Baba Dele said, his voice echoing in the shadows. You want your church to grow, for the people to flock you, and for wealth to come like a river. Pastor Olujimi nodded, feeling a strange chill down his spine. Baba Akin offered him a solution, a diabolical pact. The secret the herbalist said lay in the power of a simple handshake. With a charm concealed in his palm, every new member he shook hands with would fall under his spell, becoming loyal to him and bringing money into the church. It is a simple act, Babadele explained, rubbing a dark ointment into Olujimi's palm. But you must never skip the handshake with any new member who steps into your church. It is the seal that will draw them to you and bind them to your cause. Failure to do so, and the charm will break. Though guilt tugged at his heart, Olujimi agreed. He returned to his church, determined to follow the herbalist's instruction. Within weeks, his congregation grew. Every Sunday, new faces appeared, and he never failed to greet them with a firm handshake. The church began to fill up, and donations poured in, as if a hidden dam had been broken. Olujimi's reputation spread, and soon his church was one of the most popular in the region. But his secret weighed heavily on his soul. He avoided preaching on morality, sin, or the dangers of falsehood. Instead, he focused on blessings, prosperity, and the abundant life that he promised to every believer who joined his ministry. Yet, there was one member he did not anticipate, Madam Kemi. She has exposed him. He shook his head as he finished the story. Forgive me, brethren. I'm sorry, he whispered, weeping. The next few weeks saw a mass exodus. The once booming congregation dwindled back to a handful of loyal followers. Those that had been drawn by his charm soon dispersed, and rumors spread like wildfire. Pastor Olujimi's name became synonymous with deception, and those who remained loyal questioned his integrity. Eventually, the church shut down, and Olujimi disappeared from town, his ambition crushed by the very secret he had tried to conceal. Madam Kemi's courage was celebrated, and she became a symbol of vigilance in the community, reminding everyone that the path to true faith was narrow and not without its threats and trials. And so, the town learned that sometimes even the brightest light might hide the darkest secrets, and that faith, when twisted by greed, could lead to a man's downfall. The end. Thanks for listening. What's your thought on this story? Was Madam Kemi justified to expose him openly or otherwise? Please like, share and subscribe to my channel for more stories. Bye.